Librarians shall be appointed by the council on the recommendation of the selection board constituted under paragraph 8 of the university statute. The university librarian shall be responsible to the vice chancellor for A, administration of the university library, B, coordination of the library services in the university, its campuses, colleges, faculties, colleges, schools, departments, institutes, and other teaching or research units, and C, implementation of the policy of the university with respect to the development of the library. Now, for purposes of teaching and research, references are necessary. And teaching and research are things which are evolving continuously. Therefore, it is necessary to get a library where you can obtain new ideas and get new information, as well as safeguard the previously available information. So that is why everything is important to the library. Nothing is too old and nothing is useless as far as it contains some knowledge. Now, the University Council is composed of a pro-chancellor who is the chairman of council. The pro-chancellor for Al-Qalam University is Sani Zangon Daura, Damasanin Daura, CON, which means Commander of the Order of the Niger, which is one of the highest national honors. So he is the chairman and the pro-chancellor. Then the vice chancellor, who is Sheikh Ado speaking here, and then deputy vice chancellors. We have Dr. Muslim Ibrahim, Muhammad Muslim Ibrahim, and the deputy vice chancellor. I think they are preparing for examination, so he is not yet here. Then some persons representing a variety of interests and broadly representative of the whole Muslim community in Nigeria. So there are other members of the council, including 2 ladies. Then some persons appointed by the Senate from among its members. I think it is the Director of Academic Planning who is representing the Senate of Al-Qalam University on the council. And then some persons appointed by the congregation from among its members. Also, we have the Director of Physical Planning and Municipal Services. He is also not yet here present, but he is representing the congregation. Then, what are the powers of the council? The council shall exercise such functions apart from those specified in the university law, without derogation from the generality of the powers conferred upon the council by the university law. The council shall have the following powers: participate in making amendment or revocation of the statutes of the university, make acts for any purposes for which acts are or may be authorized to be made in accordance with the law, and to govern, manage, and regulate the finances, accounts, investments, property, business, and all affairs whatsoever of the university. The Vice Chancellor is responsible to the council. Now, the powers are more or less unlimited. You can see a lot of powers. For example, it is only council which can borrow money for the university in case there is need to borrow any money. And you cannot invest university's money without the authorization of the council, and so on. So these are all given as council functions and powers. Now, council can enter into agreements for the incorporation in the university of any other institution and for the taking over of its rights, property, and liabilities, and for any other purpose not repugnant to the Al-Qalam University law. All members of the council other than the ex-officio members shall hold office for 4 years or for such shorter period as the appointing persons or bodies shall determine, except where otherwise provided, all retiring members shall be eligible for reappointment. In addition to the powers conferred upon it by the law, Council shall also provide for printing and publication of research and the other works which may be issued by the university, and shall have the power to take into consideration to reports from the Senate on those matters upon which the Senate is authorized or required by statute or the law to make reports. Time is up. You see, that's why I said somebody should. Now, I have spoken about the council, but I will briefly talk about the Board of Trustees, which is a body above the council. The Board of Trustees has the power to constitute the council and the chairman of the council. And in Al-Qalam University, there's another body above the Board of Trustees, which is the proprietors. The proprietors of Al-Qalam University are Katsina Islamic Foundation. So the university belongs to Katsina Islamic Foundation. Then the Katsina Islamic Foundation entrusted the management of the university to the Board of Trustees. And the Board of Trustees has a chairman in person of His Excellency Muhammad Lawal Kaita, the former governor of defunct Kaduna State, when Kaduna and Katsina were one state. Maybe those of very few of you here have one except at that time. Now, there are other members. The Pro-Chancellor is also a member of the Board of Trustees because he has to report to the Board of Trustees at their meetings. The Board of Trustees also appoint the University Chancellor. And the University Chancellor is the highest officer of the university. Below him, you get the Pro-Chancellor. Below the Pro-Chancellor, you get the Vice Chancellor and others. So that is the structure of the university. My time, I think, has been up. I don't know whether we are able to grasp what I have tried to explain. So there will be time for questions. I am sure if you have been able to get some questions, you can be able to ask for further clarifications. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Well, I think in Islamic organizations, you simply say Allahu Akbar instead of clapping. So it is better for members to take note. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I will now call on the registrar to make his presentation. The registrar, sir.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم. I think you have gotten the programs, and maybe in the programs you have seen the topics I am requested to make presentation on. Before then, I must recognize the presence of able leadership, the person of Professor Shehu Dalkiadu, Vice Chancellor, and the Bursar of the University, Muhammad Hussein Ridwan, Director for Academic Planning, Muhammad Lord Damin, the Confidential Secretary, who's at the center coordinating this program, and other key staff of the registry who are here with us. I equally welcome you all. The BC has already said it all. You know, even by the name, to say a professor is something. So you don't expect us to make presentation. It's qualitative. And the one that just finished lunching before you, in a nutshell, we will do our best to ensure that we do justice to the topics requested to talk on. So Alhamdulillah, in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, I must thank Almighty Allah for affording me this opportunity to be with you on this very useful occasion. Orientation to the newly started is part of the establishment practices in any organization, not only here in our university. And it's done with a view to acquaint the newly recruited staff or employed staff with the expectations and to give them guide on what to do, how to do it, as well as pinpoint the do's and don'ts of such organization, the job the employees are employed to perform. I would equally like to, as I already mentioned, thank again our able Vice Chancellor, the father and leader, Professor Shehu Garkiado, under whose able leadership all these type of programs are being carried out in his continued effort to ensure that our university is really situating itself in its rightful position. I equally congratulate you for joining the ever-growing family of Al-Qalam University and for being lucky to get this job out of many who are qualified. In fact, some may be more qualified than some of you here. And have applied, but Allah made it possible that you are chosen among them. I enjoin you to ensure thanking Allah by doing what is appropriate in tandem with the university's philosophy as an Islamic university, in both your attitude and conduct. I am requested to make a presentation on the following: ethical practices, channels of communication, rules and regulations, and the penalties. It is actually very easy for all of you here to understand that my presentation is to do with the general administrative procedures that encompasses all the above subtopics or titles I've just mentioned. But due to time constraints, And for the purpose of this presentation, to summarize concept of the subtopics is to only be highlighted. The elaborate explanation for you to go and consult the literature or some available publications within the university. It is generally acknowledged that the definition of the concept may be subjected to different interpretation and connotations, especially in social sciences. But for our consumption, in a simple manner, when we say ethical practices, they are apparent, approved, and acceptable norms, practices and behaviors in a working environment. This refers to the observance of stipulated working hours. I think from what I have seen, even from today, some of you from the beginning have arrived lately actually. The official time of reporting to work in this university is 8 a.m. and we close by 4 p.m. Some of you just arrived or have arrived after even the Vice Chancellor have finished his welcome address. And I think it's depicting and telling bad on you, which means we are starting with a bad beginning. Cyclist notices were pasted. You have been duly informed that you may be having this orientation, but yet you fail to arrive on time. I think you have to sit up. You have to sit up actually. Not only in terms of stipulated working hours, cordial relationship with your fellow colleagues, obedience to constituted authority, the university authorities, your respective units, departmental and sectional heads, following the law and the order, available regulations of the university, etc., are all what we simply refer to ethical practices. Any recognized and acceptable behavior or acts that will assist and regulate the conduct of an employee between him and his superiors or subordinates. In this regard, emphasis is laid on ensuring that whatever an employee is supposed to do, his immediate supervisor is supposed to be his linkage. It is not allowed to jump or bypass your head of department, your sectional head, or your unit head while channeling your lawful requests. Your closeness and attachment to any key officer doesn't allow you or warrant you to directly liaise or forward official requests or complain to him or her while undermining your supervising officer. for instance, all academic staff are supposed to make submissions through their heads of department. Then to the deans, the HOD will pass it to the dean will pass it to the deputy vice chancellor and to the vice chancellor, as the case may be. There are some circumstances that may warrant, of course, vice chancellor has the right to summon any one of you directly. But while channeling your request, it must be endorsed by your supervising officer, please. So also, in the case with non-academic staff, it must be from your units or sectional heads or departmental heads, and then to the vice chancellor. Please, you must hear this and understand this. Our university, like any other university, has sets of rules and regulations regarding the conduct of every staff. Our university law is very much available. You can consult the library for reference. And the conditions governing the appointments of staff and scheme of service are to be served to you in no distant future, inshallah. I therefore enjoin each of you to be consulting these documents to serve as a guide on your rights and limitations. Having highlighted the expectations, the rules and regulations to guide you, and the medium of channeling your request and or addressing your grievances, as the case may be or may warrant, I must equally explain to you that should a staff fail to do the right things and deviate from the approved norms, certain measures and the penalties are very much available in this university, as is obtainable in other organizations or sister institutions. The university will not hesitate to take the right decision of controlling deviant staff. Penalties ranging from advice, yes, if you are advised, if your behavior or attitude warrant that you even be advised is something actual. Warning, either written or verbal, query, stoppage of salary, suspension, interdiction, termination of appointment, or dismissal from even the service of the university are all very much available in our regulations and actually are being imposed. These are just a few. There are others that are not captured in this paper for this presentation. It is imperative at this juncture strongly advise you to ensure that you think of the progress of Al-Alam University first before any other interest. For now, you may have no better place other than Al-Alam University. That will be your God-written ornament. I am once again concluding this short presentation by congratulating you and pray that Allah will continue to guide you in your conduct, and that you will live happily and contribute positively to the upliftment and development of our Imagine University. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you, sir. I think everybody has been given the Al-Qalam daughter. And it's for a purpose. And you will see the purpose later. You have to jot down all you have gained here, which will be used for something. At the end of the day, we shall tell you. We don't want you to jot it down, that note away. The next address will be from the bursar. The bursar will tell us conditions of financial regulations. The bursar, sir.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. The Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, Director Academic Planning, the Coordinating Secretary of this occasion, our new employees, members of the organizing committee, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I was asked to present a paper on financial regulation in a university setting. Well, all that needs to be said has already been said by Abul Vice Chancellor and our Registrar of University. The Registrar explained about rules and regulations of university. Financial regulation is just an attachment of the general rules and regulations of the university. By the way, I'll just chip something that needs to be said here. It is a very common knowledge to associate finances with money, because I was going to say something about financial regulation. We have to know what is finance before we know how the finance is going to be regulated. So when we said finance, finance can be money or something to do with money. In Nigerian context, whichever term is used can be an indicative of the literary status of the user. However, finance means more than money. A simple definition of finance. Finance has been defined in many different ways, but for the purpose of this presentation, finance can be defined as the art of managing the monetary resources of a university for the achievement of the said objectives. The Vice Chancellor told us the object of a university, and we need finance in order to achieve that objective. Then the regulation. When we say regulation, rules and regulations can be laws, order, statements that are put down to guide in doing something. It can be
what to do and what not to do. You need some guidelines on how to do things or not to do that. So in essence, financial regulation in this context state the ways and manners and how the finances of university is going to be utilized. When we say financial regulation, we are talking of the rules and regulations and how to operate the finance of the university. So to be able to execute that very well, you need financial authority, there must be responsibility. Financial authority are the legal instruments that empower and guide all the university officers to carry out financial instruction, financial transactions. These financial transactions may include the receipt of money, custody of assets, account of the university revenue, procurement, stores, and disbursement of funds for capital and recurrent expenditure. Some of the legal instruments required, we have as the offer the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Constitution can regulate the financial transactions of the country, which university is a part of. We have some other financial legal legislation. Then the university law. All financial guide rules and regulations are there in the university law. Then we have the accounting manual of the university. Then other circulars from the governing council and from the finance and general purpose committee of the council. Then we have financial responsibility. Who are responsible for operating these financial rules and guidelines? In the first place, we have the governing council of the university. The governing council is charged with the responsibility of the general control and administration of the financial policies and property of the university. The governing council must ensure that proper books of the university are kept and that the accounts are annually audited by an approved auditor appointed by the board. Then we have the Finance and General Purpose Committee, which also exercises control over the property and expenditure of the university, subject to the discretion and approval of the board of the council of the university. Then we have the Vice Chancellor, who is the Chief Executive of the university. The general function and responsibility of the university is on the Vice Chancellor. After the Vice Chancellor, we have the Bursar, who is the Chief Financial Officer of the university and answerable to the Vice Chancellor. Other officers who have responsibility in executing finances, we have the sectional heads who are accounting officers of their responsive departments. Then we have the individuals who are heads of some certain units. They are also accountable to their units. In order to ensure an effective compliance of the financial regulation of the university, there must be an organized bursary function and procedures. Bursary in any university setting is like the Minister of Finance of an organization. So bursary is the Minister of Finance of the university. Anything to do with finance is within the bursary. So it is very important to know the functions and duties of the bursary so that they will account properly of the money entrusted to the university by the university proprietors. Organization of the bursary. The bursary as the finance of the university, as the Minister of Finance of the university, must organize the function of the department in order to achieve effective financial control from an efficient provision of services, production and preservation of necessary record for financial activities, production of periodic financial reports for decision making. So, in an ideal university situation, at least we need about 3 units in the bursary department. Let us start with the office of the bursar. As I said already, the bursar is the chief financial officer of the university. He must organize his work into certain functional units. These units are, number 1, we have the treasury division. The treasury division is headed by a senior accountant, and the duties, responsibility attached to this treasury units and the following. We have cash office. The cash office is responsible for handling all cash operation of the universities. It is responsible for collecting all cash, check, all monies in favor of the university, using the official design receipt and loading the same in the university bank account. We are talking of rules and regulations. So when we come to collection of cash, the rules say that all university money must go to the bursary. Nobody is responsible for collecting money of the university, must go through the bursary. And the bursary must issue an official receipt with the logo of the university, with the serial number, the receipt detailing date, amount of what has been received. And that money must be lodged in the university account. No money should be kept within the university. This cash office also is responsible for raising payments. All payments that may be in the form of contract payment for supplies, payment for claims, payment for other services that are rendered to the university. Another guidelines or rules that affect payment is that all payment by university must be supported by payment voucher. No payment should be made without a voucher. And all payment must be approved by the chief executive, that is the vice chancellor. There is no payment will be made by the bursary department without the approval of the vice chancellor. Apart from the approval, there are other supporting documents, maybe contract payment. It must be supported by document, certified document. It is supplied. All the items have been supplied, have been taken to the store. There's evidence of good receipt note. There's evidence of certification that the items supplied are in conformity with specification, quantity, quality, and others. We have the payroll unit. This unit of the bursary is concerned with the payment of salary to employees. This is a very important section of the university because many things we have been hearing of ghost workers. So this is a very important organ of the bursary department. So the payroll section deals with staff salaries, allowances, and it constitutes a very large sum of money consumed in the university. About 70% of the university recurrent expenditure goes to salary. There is therefore the need to institute a very proper control to reduce fraud in this area. Some of the areas that fraud used to happen in payroll section is overpayment of existing staff, payment of salaries and allowances to dead staff or to retired staff. So a lot of things happen in this abundance. Therefore, there must be an efficient control and observation in this bursary section and this payroll section. Then we have the pension unit. This university will operate operating under the contributory pension scheme approved by the federal government 2004. So this, the pension we are operating here, we are operating a contributory pension scheme. The university contributes 10% on the part of the employee, and the employee contributes 8% from his salary. This amount is taken to a pension administrator, which will be given to you after retirement. We have the student accounts unit under the treasury, under the treasury. This student accounts division is concerned for giving a record of the students. All registration fees are maintained under this unit. No student will be allowed to graduate without paying his full registration fee. We keep a register whereby when you are graduating, we'll give you a certificate, clearance certificate. I will not sign that you have clearance certificate until I assure that all you are speaking to have been settled in full. Another unit of the bursary is the finance and service division. This division department is dealing with the financial report generation, the fixed assets, expenditure control, general ledger, and source management. All are handled by this unit. The expenditure control. Approved budgets as the post of law so that no expenditure will be permitted without budgetary approval. When a budget is approved, it's a law. So this section of the bursary coordinates the budgeting process of the university. All what has been approved must be coordinated with this unit to see that the approval is in accordance to the budgetary allocation. We have the fixed assets register section. This section keeps the register of all assets of the university. When we talk of asset, we mean physical property of the university, like these chairs, these fans, all these are physical assets, like the motor vehicles, the buildings, and others. So we have to keep a record of all the assets of the university, because without any record, it can easily be lost, it can easily be taken away. The other unit is the stores management. This store management, this whereby all items of the university are kept. store is a very important organ of any organization. All properties of the organization are kept in the store, and there must be proper recording of the store's item. We have a specific regulation for stores, which we call it store regulations, which ensure that all the laid down procedures of storing items are being followed. No item will go out of the store without filling all the necessary forms. That is, we have the store issue brochure, store requisition brochure. When items are going to store, they must be followed by store receipt brochure. And when they are going out, they must be supported by store issue brochure. The requesting department will put the requisitions through store requisition. When that is taken to the store issue brochure will be filled, approved by the appropriate people concerned, and then the item is released from the store. The next unit of the bursary is the business ventures and support services. This part of the bursary is concerned with other ventures of the university, revenue generating ventures.